Good evening and welcome to Coach World TV. My name is Terry Yoffe, and tonight as my guest I have Todd Cherches.
Thank you,
Hi
Terry.
Todd, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. It's great to
Good.
be here.
Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff here, which I hope we get to. A lot of great, interesting stuff. So Todd is the co-founder and CEO of Big Blue Gumball LLC. That's a mouthful.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Which
Big
is
Blue Gumball, yes.
which is a New York City-based consulting, training, and coaching firm. And they specialize in leadership development, management training, and presentation skills. So, Todd,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about the Big Blue Gumball.
All right. Well, I actually brought a Big Blue Gumball along with me today. You can't see against the blue background, but Big Blue Gumball is our motto is we make training entertaining. That's our motto.
Okay.
And our name is kind of fun. We could have been, we started the company 2 years ago, my brother Steve and I, and so our focus is on management, leadership training, executive coaching, and presentation skills, but we wanted it to be fun because we both come out of the entertainment industry in terms of our backgrounds, so that's what differentiates us from a lot of companies. I used to work for the American Management Association, and my brother and I both worked for Dale Carnegie Training, so we have a lot of years of experience in the management training and coaching world, and then when we formed our own company 2 years ago, we wanted something that was consistent with our style. And one of our philosophies is the 3 E's that we use is educate, engage, and excite. So that's everything that we do revolves around educate is what do we want people to learn. Engage is about how we're going to hold people's attention and keep them entertained and connected. And then the excite is how we're going to get them to be inspired to go out and try new things. And that's what behavior change is all about, and growth is all about, and development is all about. Is trying new things and getting people excited to do that.
Well, he certainly did that for me because, but when was it? About a year ago?
Yeah, a little over a year.
That I had gone to a HR New York, which is an organizational meeting, and I had met Todd, and he was presenting to the group, and I was so educated, excited, and engaged by what he did and how he did his presentation.
Thanks.
That a lot happened. One, I invited him to come to our ICF meeting next May 16th, to present actually to our members, and also to be on Coach World TV again May 14th. And I couldn't really wait until then, so I asked Todd if he would be willing to come tonight and to talk about what they do, what he and his brother Steve do, and what differentiates them in what they do.
Okay, great. So my brother Steve founded the local VizThink community in New York City. VizThink is a community of people who are designers who use visual thinking to communicate and to brainstorm and to mind map and do things like graphic recording and napkin sketching. And so it's a community of people who love using art and the humanities and visuals to communicate. And so what we do is we incorporate that into our training and coaching, whether it's management or leadership or whatever. So Steve went to a conference out in San Jose, the national conference. He came back to New York and wanted to join the local New York VizThink community, and there wasn't one. So he started one with a couple of other people. He through Twitter and through LinkedIn and Facebook, he just put feelers out there, and then he created this whole group. And now we have a lot. I don't know what the numbers are in the terms of the membership, but we have regular meetings throughout the year in which people who are interested in visual communication can come and talk about things, brainstorm, and share ideas and resources. So it's great.
That's amazing to me, because it's a little different and very effective, I would imagine. I mean, I certainly know that the people that were at this event really walked away feeling extremely informative about how to do a presentation, which is not the only thing he does, but it was different. And that's what I liked about it, because there are the standard presentations that you see, and then there's Todd's.
We're on a mission to rid the world of bullet points. So in
Yeah,
terms of
you had
PowerPoint,
said that.
that whole death by bullet point thing. And we follow the philosophies of certain people like Nancy Duarte, who wrote a book called Slideology, which is all about how to create better slides, and Gar Reynolds, who wrote a book called Presentation Zen, and he talks about how to incorporate Zen principles into
Really?
your slide design, with the three ideas being brevity, simplicity, and clarity. So how can you use an image, and we'll talk a little bit about that tonight, how can
Yeah.
you take one image or one metaphor or tell one story, rather than, which is more impactful and memorable, rather than just putting up a slide, which a lot of people do, and then read bullet points to you, which, as we know, if you've been in meetings like that, is very torturous.
It's a
and
big yawn.
Yeah, it's a yawn. If you're lucky enough to stay away for it, it's very little that you remember when you walk out. With an image, you have that image locked in your mind, and that stays with you. So it's much more impactful from a training perspective and from coaching, in terms of coaching.
You have your emphasis on visual thinking and visual communication.
Yes, yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure.
And how would that be a good tool for coaches to utilize? I know we talked a little bit about it at dinner.
Yes, yes.
So,
Yeah. So my brother and I both come out of the entertainment
Right.
industry.
That's your
I worked in advertising when I first got out of college, and then I moved to LA and I worked for Aaron Spelling for a short period,
okay.
then Columbia Pictures, and then Disney, and then CBS. So I worked in the TV industry for a number of years,
Okay.
and TV is all about telling stories. It's all about things having a beginning, middle, and end. And then I got out of television and found myself in the theme park business, where I
at
managed
Disney?
not for Disney, but for another company, that one called Sequoia, and later another company called Showscan Entertainment, and I managed a theme park project in China, where we produced robotic animal figures, life-size animals in LA, shipped them to China, and I had to go over there to oversee the installation. And one of the things I found is that when you're talking to people of a different language or culture, using visuals is very helpful, because you may not be speaking the same language, but you can point to a picture and you can describe things, and it's a way of finding a middle ground, that way of communicating with people. So with my years in the entertainment industry, and my brother also worked for a number of entertainment and media companies, we incorporate, when we got into training, it was just intuitive and instinctual to say, how can we incorporate some of these visual thinking and entertainment elements into the training that we do to make it more interesting and exciting and engaging.
So,
yeah.
do you want to elaborate on
Sure,
that?
I'll give you
He's got a lot of
yeah,
stuff here.
I'll give
that
you.
I'm eager
Sure.
to see.
Well, one idea, I actually just recently was asked to do a blog column for the
Right.
Hired Guns, which is a careers website. Allison Hemming started it, and I've known her for years, and she invited me to be a blogger. And my blog column, I just had my second one, it'll be once a month towards the end of the month, is all about visual thinking as it applies to your personal development and your career growth and everything else. So my first blog column was about creating a visual resume. So most resumes are filled with text and they list all your jobs in chronological order, but one of the things that I did is I created a visual version of my bio or resume, which I'll just hold up here. I don't know if you can see it, but it basically walks you through my my New York years, then my LA years, and then since I've been back in New York. So what's interesting is if you're meeting with someone or coaching someone, you can create a visual resume and you can point to it, and because it's colorful, because it has the logos, you can say, oh, you worked for Disney, tell me about that. And then what's interesting is from a visual perspective, seeing the logo will trigger all these memories. Like just as I'm looking at that Disney logo right now, it reminds me of when I worked on the lot in Burbank and different situations and stories. So it's easier to talk about it when you have a visual in your mind that triggers, that's a catalyst to your ideas that you're thinking about. So that's one of the ways that visuals really helps to enhance a coaching conversation.
So, would you, if you were going out on an interview, actually have this?
Yes, yeah.
You'd have your regular resume, and then you would have this as kind of an addendum, and you would hand that to the interviewer and say, here's my resume, and here it is visually. Yeah,
exactly right. So this doesn't take the place of a standard resume, but it's a great way if someone says, oh, tell me about this, or tell me about what you did, what have you been doing since you've been back in New York. You can take this out and say, first I worked for this company, this company, this company, and it's just great because the logos are right there, and it's visual not only for you, it triggers your memories and your stories, but when someone says, tell me about a time when you handled this type of situation or dealt with this kind of problem, it triggers it, and the person who's asking the question will also benefit from it as well.
So, a question here, which just comes to mind is, isn't this fabulous? That people, interviewers get real resumes, bullets, a lot of lettering, a lot of words on a page.
All text.
Right, exactly. But how I mean, maybe you have experience when an interviewer gets something like this, they've got to go, whoa.
Yeah.
And perhaps this person kind of gets to the top of the line.
Yeah.
Or, you
It's
know,
a lot
the
easier to
front.
find in a pile, I'll put it that way. That's
But
one of the
it's
benefits.
very creative and very innovative.
Yeah, thank you.
And really,
Yeah.
and for somebody to kind of show up with this, there's got to be something going in an interviewer's mind to say, now this person really stands out. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm making
yeah.
that up because
Well,
I'm
you
not
tell this
sure.
person's innovative. They think outside the box. They
Right.
look at new approaches. It's kind of a marketing tool, and we're all always
Right.
marketing ourselves.
Yes.
One of the questions that we always ask when we're coaching someone is, what do you want to be known as the go-to person for, or what do you want to be known as the guru of? So if you know, a lot of times people say, oh, I like doing this, I don't like doing this, but if you're working in a company or department, you want to be thought of as the person, if someone says, oh, I need a management or leadership book, who do I go to? You want your name, say, oh, go to Todd, he's read them, or something like that. You want to be the first name that pops into people's mind, whatever that is. And this is part of, this could be done, even if you don't show it to anyone else, it's a great exercise to think about your own personal brand and who you are and where you've come from. We talked about the book, the Marshall Goldsmith book called What Got You Here Won't Get You There.
Exactly.
So you could say, I've worked for all these different companies and look at my background, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee my success for 2012 or beyond. You have to think of, especially if you get laid off and you need to reinvent yourself, what are the transferable skills you have?
Absolutely. How
can I leverage, so if someone says, oh, you've only worked at in entertainment companies and now this is a financial services company, what are the skills that you have there that you can bring to the table here? And it's just a great way to stand out from the crowd.
Exactly. Yeah. Great. I love it. I love it. And,
Thank you.
You know, talking about transferable skills today and being quick on your feet and being able to make that shift mentally from where you were to where you could be now, and taking that skill set and like a movable feast and moving it into an area that you might not have been in.
Yes, exactly. So, well, it is, one of the other analogies or metaphors we talked about was the journey, and you brought that up earlier. And so another image, and I'll hold this up for the camera, I don't know if you could see it, but it says leadership is a journey, and there's three parts of it. There's the windshield and what's up ahead. What's up in the future, the unknown, the road not taken or the road taken. The rearview mirror represents the past. Where did I come from? How did I get to this point? What did I learn on this along the road? And then the dashboard symbolizes the present. So you have past, present, you have future, past, and present. And the dashboard represents the metrics. So just like on a dashboard in the car, you would have your gas gauge and your oil gauge and your speedometer. Your metrics are, how do you measure success today? How do you gauge whether or not 2011 was a successful year for you in your career or financially or whatever? And if you think of your life as a journey, it's a great way to frame things and think about, all right, what's the next, how do I need to plan and set myself up for success for the next leg of this journey?
Exactly. And I think when we look in the rearview mirror, that's a mouthful. A lot of people don't use it as a gauge, as a way to look behind them and say, okay, what lessons did I learn that are now in the present that I can move into the future? A lot of people keep looking in the rear view mirror as the past and what, they can't let go of the past. So I use this analogy a lot in my coaching. I mean, not with this great vision, but similar.
But that's one of the things, too, that we talked about is visual language. Because a lot of times you're coaching someone and you may not be in the same room or face-to-face. You may be coaching someone by phone. So the ability as a coach to think visually and to get your coachee to think visually, and as you talk about the journey of the leadership journey or the journey of your career, you need to be able to visualize that. So it's all about visualizing a future. One of the things that we talk about is going from the point A to point B. The A is the as is, starting with A, and the B is the should be or the could be, the world of possibility. So as you're talking about getting from point A to point B, it's going from how things are, your current reality, to some idealized future state that only you can create, right?